The latest news, national issues, the political scene, and conversations from prominent personalities. All these firsthand at the forefront. Good morning. On behalf of Attorney Karen Jimeno, this is Ferdi Salvador. Technology is now reshaping political campaigns as artificial intelligence is now being used to deliver key messages to the voters. Today, we're fortunate to have two creative powerhouses to talk about how they have embraced AI in their crafts. From crafting impactful political jingles to revolutionizing campaign messaging, they will share their experiences, challenges, and insights on this digital transformation. How is AI changing the game of political persuasion? Joining us this morning are recognized industry stalwarts, the CEO of CreatiVoices Production, founder of Certified Voice Artist of the Philippines, the voice master himself, Pocholo de Leon Gonzales. Good morning, Pocholo. Next, we have the music lead and managing partner of Wonder Collab Studios, Kahlil Refuerzo. Good morning, Kahlil. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me this morning. I know it's early, but
good morning.
Okay.
Great day, Sir Ferdi.
Yes, let's get down to it. So, how did you both start in your industry?
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So I actually
Kahlil.
work in the audio production industry of the advertising industry. So audio productions in the advertising industry. So I started in 1998, and since then I was a jingle maker and a soundtrack producer and a music scorer. So,
Any
yeah.
noteworthy ones that I can recognize?
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you're younger than me, so I'm probably going to recognize a lot of them.
Well, siguro the most popular jingle that's non-political is
Yes.
probably Makulay ang Buhay by Nor. So it was done in 2007, and there's also the My Chocolatey Buddy of Chucky. So
Yes.
those are a couple of maybe the most popular.
And I like that I actually recognize both. That's
thank
two
you.
different generations altogether.
Thank
Sir, but, what about the political ones?
Well, maybe the most popular is Manny Villar's Nakaligo Ka Na Ba Sa Dagat ng Basura. So that was done in 2010.
Sample?
Nakaligo ka na ba sa dagat ng basura? Yeah, so
Nice.
yeah.
That was effective. I'm sure it was.
Well, yeah, I think
Did
so.
you, did you have to
people
immerse
still-
yourself
in the dagat ng basura? No. Thankfully, no.
Sir Pocholo,
Yes, sir.
how did you start?
I started when I was 16 years old, so I won a voice acting competition in one of the biggest radio stations.
Yes, yes.
So, and I also become one of the youngest dubbing director at age 18 for ABS. And
Wow, two
Yeah.
years after at the other station.
and also did like thousands of commercials also.
Wow.
I also work with Sir Kahlil.
So you guys have
He's
known each
always
other for
one
a
of
while.
my,
Okay,
sound
fantastic.
engineer.
At least we're amongst friends conversing this morning. And any noteworthy ones?
Well,
that you-
one of
non-political
my,
and
yes,
political.
one of the most famous anime also is Kuro-chan. Like, I did this voice na,
Hoy, kumanda ka sa akin. Ako nga pala, Cyber Kuro-chan. Tungpay sa inyo. Ha, ja.
and Bubu Chacha.
Magandang araw sa inyo. Ako pala si Chacha.
And
You just
And
took me
Meet
to
Your
another
Garden.
dimension right there. I was not prepared for that.
I also did Meet Your Garden, Father of Sunshine, yung,
Magandang araw sa iyo. Kamukha mo si Daming Sir. Mukha kang pinya.
You have just morphed right in front of
Yeah.
my eyes to an older Korean person.
And
Did you feel the
Yeah,
same way?
yeah.
And also, the most famous is Bibo Hotdog. I did the voice of the puppet. Yung, the,
Pape, bibo. Bagong bibo.
Oh, anong sikreto ng bagong bibo?
Tikman mo.
Paano? Papit ako eh.
Nga.
so I did those voices.
You know what I want to do without being rude, but I want to crack open your heads to see what's going on in there because, you know, this is hyper creative.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
different
sometimes,
level
yeah.
of creativity. I mean, changing voices is not only a talent,
Yes,
but
that's true.
I think it's a sign of genius, in fact, right? Yes, but about yung political campaign mo, Sir Pocholo?
I used to be the voice and speech coach of Vice President Binay.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Are you going to
during
copy
the
his
election,
voice or are you going to give
no,
me a
I am
campaign?
teaching him how to speak well.
Oh,
I
okay.
also did some commercials like,
Kay Binay, sasaya ang buhay. Yeah.
Malamig. Malamig siya.
Something like that.
Since you know, you're talking about this, I want to delve into DZMM's Rado Rado contest. How did you change your career at age 16?
Yes, I was just first year college during that time in UP Diliman. So I'm taking up theater arts, speech communication, and creative writing at the same time.
At 16?
At 16, yes, sir.
Okay.
So I finished at 19, so I also took up my master's degree in broadcasting. But during that time, I have this principle that why should I wait to graduate if I can do my dream now? So my dream is to become a reporter, a broadcaster, not a voice talent. But I've seen myself behind the mic. So I used to be a reporter before and a broadcaster, but I decided to focus on voice acting.
Nako, I feel like I'm gonna be judged this morning because I've got a distinct voice. You don't know whether it's raspy or burnt. So
It's okay.
I have a question for you. A little bird told me that you've got a talent for doing things on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So I can do-
I'm going to challenge you. Okay, so pretend I'm running for office and I want to run for senator, right? And of course, I'm all for the poor. Can you come up with a campaign for me? It's
Yeah.
going to be super interesting.
That's how AI will help us.
Okay.
So through ChatGPT, we can create a campaign jingle for you. Like, for example, I'm going to give ChatGPT a prompt asking him to write a campaign jingle for Ferdi Salvador running for senator, and this is his platform.
Okay.
So now, I just finished it.
Kahlil, I want to hear this. Okay.
So you want to hear?
Yes, I don't know if the mic will pick it up, but perhaps
Okay,
put it
okay.
closer to you.
Sa Senado may bagong pag-asa. Si Ferdi Salvador kasama ng masa. Serbisyong
This is K-pop.
Yes.
iniwan. Dapat sa bayan, hindi lang pangakuan. Edukasyon, trabaho,
Wow, that's simply amazing. I'm gonna ask for that clip from you later. Don't worry, I'll sign a waiver. I'm not running for
Yes,
any
okay.
position at the moment. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir Kahlil,
Yes.
what about you? I want to hear. He's got that instant. I heard that you might do too.
Well, actually, on the contrary,
Yes.
I would be a little bit on the contrary on this.
Okay.
The thing that we can do as jingle makers, as actual human copywriters and jingle makers,
Okay.
is to really point this towards your audience and to add that kind of human element to it.
Okay.
So, for example, just as we heard, it is a beautiful piece of music, but is it pointed towards the market that you want to address? For example, there are countless jingles for national or like Senate currently, and not for anything else, but budots is actually still very Filipino. It's very masa, and it's probably
It's stuck.
it's stuck. Yes,
It's become cultural rather than
That's right.
campaign-wise.
Yes, it is cultural, and it hits the Filipino right where it needs to hit the
Yes,
Filipino.
yes.
So and also in terms of copywriting, well, I would say copywriting in the sense of how the advertising agencies actually write the copy for these candidates, for their candidates. It's really about them, and you feel that you know the candidate because there's a human element to it.
Yes. I'm just curious. Were you part of that campaign, for the Budots campaign?
Oh no. The one with Senator Revilla before, so no. But we've been asked to produce a couple of budots kind of music. Budots accompaniment to a jingle to certain candidates.
Don't worry, Kahlil. I'm not going to ask you to dance. So let's go back to you. But what about, how did you become a music composer and producer?
Well, music has always been in my bloodline. I'm a son of a choir conductor in
Okay.
church, and I grew up in a church environment where I was a musician, and I am still part of a church ministry as well. And because of that, I got mentored by a couple of veteran composers. And then eventually in 98, I started in a small boutique audio production house in advertising, and that's where I...
Would you like to enumerate some veteran composers?
Oh, Arnold Depano, the composer of Lead Me Lord, is my ultimate teacher, mentor. So
yeah.
there's also a couple of people like Junji Marcelo, Doji Simon from the OPM, and the late Jerdy Francisco she's a composer, and she was a composer. She passed away a few years back. She was my mentor naman in audio productions as a jingle maker.
Sir Pocholo,
Yes.
kailan ka tinawag or binansagan the voice master?
Actually, it's the media that gives me that brand. Because I'm a voice teacher, voice acting guru. So I have my voice acting school called Certified Voice Artist
Yes.
program. But before that, before the pandemic, I have this program called VoiceWorks Basic Voice Acting and Dubbing Workshop, which almost 60 to 80% of dubbers in the Philippines started from my school since 2005. So I can claim that most of them started from my school. Now they are voice acting directors, dubbers from different recording studios.
And how did you feel when they branded you as the voice master?
It's usual. I don't know.
Was it pressure?
Not really, because until now I'm still teaching voice acting. I have an online voice acting school.
Nice. Well, and of course, Kahlil, you also you put up Wonder Collab Studios.
Yes.
What's this all about?
Well, it's also an audio production house. We do commercial jingles and music scores and soundtracks, also for movies and for streaming series as well.
No political...
and also political jingles and other...
Yes, this must be your Christmas season, basically, with campaigns.
Yeah, once every 3 years, yes.
Yes, but how far back do your clients ask for your services? Is it a year before the campaign to prepare, 2 years, or even before the next election?
A couple of months, maybe. Some for about a year before.
Okay.
But most of them just a few months before the... Well, actually, you would know, and that our viewers would also know, that sometimes there is like a pre-campaign kind of, nagpaparamdam kind of period for any candidate. So kahit na 6 months before, meron na rin kaming pinoproduce for that.
Any good stories to tell us? I mean, do they choose their own music with your experience?
Since 1996, I'm also doing campaign jingles. So
Okay.
I'm the one writing the lyrics for the campaign.
Just like for my campaign.
No, and also I play the music. But because of technology, everything changes. No? For me, I don't have any projects for campaign because I'm already giving my my product for my friends, meaning
okay.
it's for free.
Oh, that's
I
quite
don't-
interesting.
Yeah.
Why free for mga politiko nagbibigay ka ng
Because
gratis?
I just want them to experience the new technology.
Yes.
So it's not against anyone because I used to do my own music before. I have produced like hundreds of music.
Any pro bono this
But I'm
season?
also a visionary. I always create change, especially in voice acting industry. I am focusing now on dubbing because dubbing cannot be duplicated by AI, the acting side.
Why can it not be duplicated
Because
by AI?
the human emotions cannot be duplicated, but the voice can be changed. Like what
Even
we're
if they don't manipulate the intonations.
There's
and
so-called, before it's called text-to-speech, now speech-to-speech. For example, I have a character.
I don't need to change my voice.
So the character becomes that voice, even I'm using my natural voice. So that's the new technology now in dubbing. But yeah.
Is that in your experience as well? I'm sure you're using technology to further your craft.
Well, we use technology to do demos sometimes in terms of I need, for example, a backup singer to this kind of jingle. I record a real human lead singer, and then I record myself in a falsetto, for example, and have AI transform that into a female singer.
Interesting.
So there are apps like that as well right now.
And of course, this is not a secret. This is an open thing.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it. What
Yes.
makes you both unique with the usage of AI? Aside, of course, from your years of experience, compared to a person, a techie kid that can manipulate AI. I mean, my child can, make me run
That's
for my
right.
money when it comes to technology. So
That's right.
what's your edge or uniqueness versus them?
Years and years of experience and that human touch. It's really what AI cannot actually replicate. So it's
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So you know what works, na magiging hit or not
Yes.
on the instant?
Well, we hope. We hope sometimes. The thing with commercials and jingles, for example, even if airtime is important. Even if you craft the catchiest jingle, if it does not have airtime, it won't be known to the masses. So you do have to have.
Okay, that's a great point of view. Okay, like earlier you said, what is your target market? What's your
Yeah.
target audience, rather? So, for example, do you think that simple lyrics or a simple a song would target a certain market, or does it have to be more complicated to the more
Well-
intellectually elite?
Well, it really depends. It really depends. There are jingles right now. There are political jingles right now that are crafted in a nice way that can encompass the masses towards a little bit to the elite. For example, just as we heard earlier from Pocholo, for a K-pop song, that actually is from the masses to the elite. Everyone is a K-pop fan.
Yeah, I became a fan of myself
Yeah,
because
see?
of the song.
Everyone is a K-pop fan,
Yes.
but it really is. You'd notice if it's purely Tagalog, for example. If it's purely Tagalog, it's very masa. If it's a combination of Tagalog and English, it's a little bit, And even there are actually voiceovers, for example, after a jingle, for senator or para senador. So we actually record different voiceovers at the end, and you'd notice if it's for senator, so you know that it's for a different village. So it's para senador. So the simple things and the little nuances like those.
Yeah, that's very, I didn't think about that. Just a simple change.
Simple change. Yeah.
Of a word retargets your audience.
That's right.
Right. So
That's right.
With this kind of season, how many political clients do you average?
Me, more on the voiceover side.
Yes.
Because I'm not really into music now. I focus more on the voice acting, voiceover, and dubbing.
This is a perfect partnership right here.
Actually, I'm the voice behind the voiceover of any political jingle, for example.
Okay.
Yung iboto, si Ferdinand, yan. Salvador, para sa senador. Kami yung nagbo-voiceover doon. Kasi hindi siya basta may AI.
Okay, so what happens is they don't contact you directly. They go to the agency like
The
Kahlil's.
production house, yes.
Yes, and then that's when you field out the talent.
Yes, that's
which
right. We
then
record
becomes
the talents
Pocholo.
as well,
yeah.
So maybe I can direct this to you. In a campaign season, an election season, how many political clients do you guys average?
Maybe I would say 10.
10?
10
Okay.
political clients.
I would expect more.
It depends on, well, sometimes the political clients, it really depends on how,
Here we go.
okay, when I say 10 political clients, these are 10 candidates.
Yes.
And the number of their projects vary. For example, and I will give a historical example, for
Okay.
example. So in 2010, so we worked on Manny Villar's campaign,
Yes.
president for president,
Yes.
Senator Manny Villar's campaign for president, and you could see that there are also he had a senatorial slate, and even in his senatorial slate, those are produced with him there. So nag-multiply by 12 yung
Ang
projects.
one candidate.
One candidate.
So it's 1 plus 12. So,
Plus 12, no?
Oh, so naging 13.
So yun yung 2010.
Okay.
So for ano man, for different candidates, for example, okay, we need a jingle for this, targeted to this kind of people, and then another jingle for this, or this jingle but split into like a full song 3-minuter, but split into 15s targeting like the medical field. No, not the medical field. For example, highlighting the benefits of benepisyo ng medical or benepisyo for the
Magsasaka,
teachers,
oo.
magsasaka.
Okay.
So nagmo-multiply din yung mga projects or yung mga materials dun sa
So
ano na yun.
then that means to say that 10 is a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And some other production houses, I believe, can service a lot more than that.
And when did you start working on political campaigns in your career?
Ako since 1996 pa. Because
1996.
I'm also into politics before.
Oh, tell me, were you running?
So, yeah, I used to be part of SK.
Ah, okay.
So, I have so many connections, especially in Bataan. And we are also in a political family. So what happened, bata pa lang ako, exposed na ako sa politika. So, alam ko na yung style na ginagawa nila, ano yung gusto ng tao, anong gusto ng mga masa, ng mamamayan. So, kayang-kaya kong sumulat. So, yung mga tumatakbong mayor sa amin, laging, I use my talents and share my talents para lang gumawa ng mga jingles nila. Like yung ninong ko, tito ko, mayor. Ako yung gumagawa since 1996. So,
Ano yung first mong political campaign?
for mayor.
For mayor.
Nung, bali, ninong kong tumakbong mayor.
Gratis.
Lagi naman. So ngayon, I have hundreds.
Huwag mong paninigyan.
Actually, I have a lot of projects now. Na I have like hundreds of mayor running. Kasi mga local lang pinofocus ko.
But why not
Wala
charge?
kasi silang budget. I mean, maliliit lang. Unlike national, malaki ang million ang budget niyan. Unlike sa mga local, like barangay or...
Walang budget, ayaw labas ng budget sa difference.
Then, for election, I only do jingles or voiceover for those people na I believe na mga mababait at hindi kurakot at corrupt.
Oh, very good. Kahlil?
Well, I started in either 4th year high school or 1st year college.
What's
It was-
this? Why are you guys starting so young?
Yeah, well, well, to me, it was a nepo thing. So, nepo thing. So my dad was a CEO of of a conglomerate,
Okay.
and the owner of the conglomerate actually ran for Congress.
Can you mention? No.
Oh yes, Ramon Rey Orosa.
Okay.
So he ran for Congress, and then he needed the jingle, and I was tinkering with my workstation. I was, I knew how to put together music at that time. So that was probably my very, very first political jingle.
Have you ever refused a client,
Yes.
both political and non-political?
Yes.
What reason?
More,
Kahlil.
to me, more politicals, I refused. It's really a personal conviction or a personal preference
Okay.
on any candidate. So there's also a line between, there's a professional part of you and there's a personal conviction part of you. So
Interesting. Pocholo?
For me, it's more on principle because I am also a motivational speaker. So I've been traveling around the country and around the world to motivate, especially the young people, to create positive change, to use their voice to help more people. In Certified Voice Artist Program, our principle is our voice is a gift from God, and it's how we use it that's our gift back to God. So we focus more on the promoting voice acting as an art and to use our voice to create positive change.
I respected you the first time I met you, but my respect has now even been elevated.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, when you use new technology, may nawawalan na ba ng trabaho? But before you answer that, at the forefront, we'll be right back after this short break.
Bawat anggulo ng bawat issue.
Nagsagawa ng mock polls ang Commission on Elections sa 30 barangay sa bansa kaninang umaga.
Bawat detalye ng mga napapanahong pangyayari.
Pinaiimbestigahan sa Kamara ang hindi pa rin nababayarang reimbursements ng mga ospital sa PhilHealth.
Tuloy-tuloy na ihahatid kahit hanggang Sabado at Linggo.
At yan ang ating weekend agenda ngayong Sabado. Ako si George Cahiles. Sa bawat issue may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
Get to the latest stories.
The Philippines bags a historic bronze at the 2025 Asia-Pacific Women's Lacrosse Championship.
The updates.
Table tennis power duo siblings brought home medals from the WTT Youth Contender.
The scores and what to celebrate in the world of sports.
I'm Anton Rojas.
And I'm Erica Christensen.
On the scorecard.
Where sports is our business.
Business is our sport.
Only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo.
We won't mention who.
Let's start your day right and laugh with fun. Join Paulo Del Rosario
So excited to bring it all here for you.
and Asis Carilo.
Always a pleasure sharing our mornings with you. Don't forget, wherever this day takes you, choose joy and spread kindness.
And Monique Tuzon.
Your mornings are mo fun with us. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter. Only here on It's a Beautiful Day!
We are back here at the forefront, and I'm still chatting with these wonderful gentlemen, Sir Pocholo and Sir Kahlil, on what it takes to put together jingles, especially, political jingles. Now, my question to you both. When you use new technology, may nawawala na ba ng trabaho? Has that been the case in your respective companies?
Well, on our end, no. So we really need that human touch. That
So,
human
have you even
factor.
added
What do you mean?
to your team?
Oh,
Have you started hiring more?
oh
Or?
yes, of course.
Okay,
of course.
great.
And
So-
it's not only our team of composers and sound engineers, it's also the singers, the voiceover actors, the voiceover talents that we need to hire. So these are freelance talents as well. So hindi, walang nawawala na trabaho. Kasi kailangan namin sila. Kailangan namin talaga sila.
Sa bagay, mahirap mag-isip ng jingle, di ba? Paano mo nalalagay sa tech? Sir Pocholo.
In our case, no, especially in dubbing, para sa akin, hindi mawawala ng trabaho. Kundi, it just shields you from the bad talents.
Yes, I'm talking about this kind of intelligence, because artificial intelligence, because you also have to pivot.
Yes.
Diba? Especially in your company, because you represent other talents as well.
Yes.
What are your measures to help protect your business and your human resource?
Well, right now, the measure really is integrity. Kasi wala eh, we're still figuring it out. So it is still a new technology. In terms of, for example, I use AI, for example, for my DAW. It's called a digital audio workstation. And sometimes you get a beat and then you put it in a part of the digital audio workstation that has AI, and it detects the beat and looks for beats that can complement that certain beat that you have. So there's AI right there. And it makes my job easier, but it doesn't take away from me actually doing the
Correct.
beat in the first place.
You still need a human being to make it work.
Yes, to
Yeah.
make it work, and if it's really bagay for that jingle, it's really bagay for that music.
For me, ano lang naman, it's just comparing typewriter to laptop and iPad.
Yes.
So kung ano yung skill mo doon, typing. But you can do more. For example, right now, I have a channel called The Voice Master
Yes.
channel and also Tagadub TV.
Yes.
Before, I can only do like one content a day.
Let's go talk about this app of yours.
Yeah,
but
also-
later on, but please continue.
Yeah. Now I can do 20 contents a day using my AI avatar, AI voice. Because I'm the only Filipino that created the first ever AI voice that acts,
How?
that sounds natural. It's
How?
me. It's all about machine learning because I know how to use artificial intelligence for the last 5 years. So I also work with one of the biggest AI company in the world, AI voice company. So all the local dialects I did. Pwede na mag-Ilocano, Kapampangan, Cebuano,
That
ang
is
AI.
so interesting.
For the first time in history.
And is this
Sabi nila walang puso.
Yes.
There is. Because it still came from human. The problem is, ano bang intention mo to do it? Because when you create content, it's unlimited ideas. Eh.
Yeah.
It's your creativity that limits you.
Are
Your
you- so-
intention that limits you.
Yeah, so are you saying that it's helping you edit the good and the bad?
Everything. So it's all about the person behind the technology.
You mentioned to me off cam that you're using this to weed out the...
Yeah, the bad attitude of the people, that money-driven people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because for the past 30 years of my life, I know the industry. So I know what kind of people are these people. So I rather create my own than to, compete with these people. Because everything is all about competition naman eh.
Sabagay, but is it tantamount to removing them from their job because
No,
of this?
they can do their job. We're not
Elsewhere.
removing any job. I'm just removing the bad people from my own group. That's all.
These are only voiceover talents, of course.
No, not really voice talents.
What?
Anyone that has bad attitude.
Okay.
Or I can just, it shields me because I can use AI on my own advantage now.
Interesting. Okay, gentlemen, let's go to even meatier subjects. Mahirap ba gumawa ng political jingle? I'm blundering my Tagalog.
Yes and no. Yes and no, I would say. There's a challenge always to make it relevant and also to make it understandable enough and clear enough for the masses and for all the people, for the audience, so whether it's masses or not. Sometimes we would be asked to copy, for example, a certain kind of, for example, now, ang sikat apit
Yeah.
Di ba?
Oh my goodness.
Di ba? Kasi syempre, sikat, sakay sila dun. Pero, it's really up to us to say, we can't really copy that. That's, that's a copyrighted
And
song.
it's unethical.
It's unethical.
Yeah.
So, if you want us to copy that, you
Yeah.
need to buy for the rights.
What if the client or the candidate insists because it is popular? Will you refuse?
So, ang tawag namin doon, bale. So,
Okay.
we do something that kind of is
Tweaking.
similar to that
Okay.
or
To
is
tweak.
as catchy as that. But we also make sure, because again, I'll go back to that, to integrity.
Yes.
So, because we ourselves churn out original work. So, we
Yes.
don't want to be copied
Correct,
without,
correct.
di ba?
Actually, may issue during the U.S. campaign. Some major stars in the United States criticize or even ask now current President Trump of ceasing and desisting to use their songs in his campaign.
Yeah.
And I don't know how successful they were in stopping that. Has that ever come up with your in the course of your careers here?
And for
Pocholo?
me, like in 2013, a certain reporter interviewed me, regarding this matter. During that time, Gangnam Style yung sikat. So sabi ko dun sa interview niya, marami nagpapagawa, pero I'm always telling them to pay for the copyright niyan. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin yan. Not unless we tweak
Of
the
course.
music.
Of
Like
course.
100%. Katunog, pero hindi katulad ng nota. Kasi pag kinopya mo yan, copyright infringement na agad yan.
What's wrong with paying?
but-
Gumagastos
yeah,
ka na
but
naman,
now,
you might as well.
That's
There's
right.
a technology ngayon na pwede mo nang kopyahin yung a certain beat and something na melody niya na halos katunog pero ang layo pa rin dun sa original.
Which is what you were saying similarly a while ago.
That's what we try to do, yes.
Yes, through AI, right? Yes, but that's interesting. But what are the key elements of a successful political jingle, Pocholo?
Para sa akin, messaging lang yan eh. Saka siguro yung beat. Minsan beat na nga lang eh. Like may isang senator, di ba? Di mo naman naintindihan sinabi, tuwan-tuwa ka lang sa beat eh. Yung
I
budots
hope
niya.
I don't have to vote for natuwa lang ako sa beat, di ba? But of course, it sways you because that means to say that you're very good at what you did because
Actually,
sway mo.
I did something like that na beat eh.
Okay.
Pero yung tunog niya,
Maybe louder near your mic, perhaps?
wait. Sige, hanapin ko muna yung
Sure.
tunog.
What about you, Kahlil?
Well, one thing is repetition, of course. So if there's a repetition of the candidate's name, and as I mentioned earlier, the airtime that's given to the jingle, but there's also that touch of a composer that composes an earworm. So, meron ding composers
Educate me. What's an earworm?
Earworm is the LSS, di ba? So,
Last
it can
song
be
syndrome.
last song syndrome. Yeah. So there are composers who really are gifted when it comes to LSS. So there.
I hope this is why I don't listen to music in the morning, because when I go to work here in the station, I don't want that playing in my head.
And and I personally don't listen to music driving to work in the morning because it's my job.
Yeah, it's gonna get stuck to you.
So I'm a podcast
So
guy.
does that infringe on your day's work?
Well, sometimes it does, but well, we've been in the industry. I've been doing this long enough for me to actually try to compartmentalize already. So sometimes kasi I do something rock in the morning and then classical in the afternoon and then hip hop at night. So so there.
And Pocholo, do you have the
Yeah, I did this budot style. The beat is there, yung parang beat ng budots. Kasi
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's making me wanna dance.
So, ngayon kasi ang uso sa mga jingle, syempre, lagi ko ang sinasabi, ang election parang piyesta yan. Ko, yung mga dapat maging statesman, nagiging stageman. So, ang naboboto lagi, yung mga nasa stage, hindi statesman. Nagiging stageman.
Correct.
So, sumasayaw, kahit anong gagawin.
You feel the same way?
Sadly.
Diba?
But sometimes, well, that's where political preferences come in.
I like how calm you dropped that bomb in our show, Pocholo. I had to look at you and say, oh my gosh, she actually said that. Which makes for a good show. But okay, of course, there's always the balance, okay, of the human touch, like yourself.
Yeah.
You said you use your human element to improve and use AI to your advantage. What about in your company, in your line of work, what's the percentage between AI and the human element?
Oh, the AI is really a small percentage right now. Truth be told, for example, if we get projects outside of the political projects, for example, a usual commercial project or even a documentary project, and I need to score it. So I need a voice track, for example. And we have not recorded the voiceover yet, but I have the deadline tomorrow to score it. I'll use AI to generate the voice of the narrator, for example. I'll use AI to generate the narrator just for me to have a timing guide. So I'll produce the music, and then eventually tomorrow or the next day we'll employ a voiceover talent.
That's interesting because you're using technology for deadlines. Before AI was around, how long would it take you to compose a jingle or commercial or?
Well, it's still the same for me, almost. It's really not dependent on AI. It's really dependent
before.
yeah. It's really it's dependent also on the experience of the composer. Some composers take a long time. Some composers really do amazing jingles in about 3-4 hours.
Are you waiting for that inspiration moment?
No. I would say I would quote many brilliant composers by saying this is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. So it's really, we have to be professional. I have to sit down and, okay, this is the task that I have to do. I have to do a budots jingle. So I know.
Danny, it really stuck, huh? We're still talking about it.
Yeah, for example.
Yeah.
So there.
What about for you, Pocholo? Because you guys are artists, and I'm thinking more
in
like
our company, CreatiVoices, it's always 80-20. 80% human touch and 20% is technology.
You guys don't get writer's block or composer's block?
We won't have money to pay the bills.
But it does happen, does it not?
Yeah, it does happen, but you kind of do something about it.
Because especially
for example, if I have that kind of block in the middle of the day, I'd stop, listen to Spotify, or try to derive something to get my juices flowing.
Do you, for example, do you have an archive of your work that you refer back to to make sure you're not making the same material for clients?
Well, to me, the archive is in my brain. I would say that I would actually kind of know if I'm copying myself already. And And maybe it's also that the thing with creativity also, it's almost always original, and you're kind of conscious of
Which
about-
is a human factor.
It is.
I'm interested in this. Do you think that AI or technology can come up with original pieces?
Yeah. It can create something that you cannot imagine. Sometimes there's a limitation for human. It depends on his experience.
Yes.
Kasi like yung mga tunog na yan, kung hindi naman tayo exposed sa Africa, how can we create an African sound? For
True.
example.
True.
And AI has unlimited data.
But let's go delve in that, because, for example, a political career in Africa is different from a political career in, let's say, Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
right? Or the Philippines versus
Yes,
Peru,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So, but AI is culturally, geographically, culturally checked,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, I'm talking about Filipino AI technology that's original.
Okay.
So, do you think they can still make AI?
Yeah.
But
Yes,
AI
AI
actually,
can-
I think AI is based on what it can research inside the internet.
It's more
right?
on the data.
It's,
that
it's,
they-
it,
Does it
Data
not make you
input.
feel uneasy?
to a certain extent, yes, but I still believe in the human intelligence and the human touch. So we can actually understand our clients better.
Again, AI is a tool. It's a tool that, it's like Iron Man. It's Jarvis for me. You know, Iron Man, Tony Stark cannot become Iron Man without the iron suit. And also Jarvis. So he cannot do anything. But it's his talent and skills and intelligence that helps the AI to do
Yes.
what he wants to do.
Correct. I'm posing a question to both you ethical gentlemen. How much would it take for you to accept a client, even if you don't like them, for a political campaign? But before you answer that, let's go take a short break at the forefront. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Rain Musni. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey.
This is the most cost-effective mass transit measure that was adopted by the government.
We attribute our increase in ecozone investments to the overall and strong performance of the Philippine economy.
Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.
Good morning, I'm Mikey Oreta and you're watching Business 360, where we break down the numbers, connect the dots, and give you the developments and the insights you need to navigate, adapt, and lead.
I'm committed to buying and owning gas.
Gold extends its record-breaking rally on Monday, surpassing the key 2,900 level for the first time.
Despite battling cancer twice, she never lost her passion.
And that's it for Business 360. I'm Mikey Oreta. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.
You're still with us here at the forefront, and my question to these two wonderful gentlemen is, what is the amount you cannot refuse for a political client that wants a jingle but you don't like? Should I rephrase that? I'll rephrase it.
There's no money for our own personal convictions. There's walang katapat na pera yun. So,
okay, so you'll blatantly say no.
Yeah, even if it's like $1 billion pesos.
Wow, Pocholo.
I'm giving it for free. For those people I believe with, di ba? I believe in. So, ibig sabihin, but I will not accept it if I know that person is corrupt or...
So talagang hindi. Because, truth be told, there have been instances with, with people that we know that went to a recording artist and composer and gave an exorbitant amount of money or offered an exorbitant amount of money for a project, but because he doesn't want to do it, take it or leave it. This is hanggang dito ka lang. Of course, you won't, di ba?
Yeah.
But that's interesting. What about the competitors that you guys have? You have a small industry. How many competitors do you feel that are competitors?
Oh, we do have friendly competitors. It's a small audio production industry in advertising. So maybe there's about, ballpark figures, about 10 of us. And it is friendly competition. So there.
For me, most of my projects are abroad. So dito sa Philippines, I don't consider anyone a competitor. Because I'm also the one creating the new talents for them.
So you're doing already like different languages for your projects?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I collaborated with more than 20 countries. So kami-kami yan. Kasi sa internet ngayon, especially sa YouTube, you can change na yung mga languages. One of my biggest client is in Australia.
Okay.
So we have this project called The Amazing Digital Circus. We have 500 million views now.
Wow.
And aside from that, yung Murder Drones. And now we have
What's
another...
a Murder Drone?
It's another animation, 3D animation.
Okay.
And then we have this channel called Ani One Philippines. So lahat ng mga tinatagalog ngayong anime, kami na ang gumagawa.
I want to point that out because, the Philippines is a fast-growing anime center of the world. Yeah. And, that's something to be proud of. Have you been working with a lot of anime companies here or projects with the anime?
Me, for 30 years, I've been doing a lot of anime. So ngayon binabalik namin yung anime, especially one of the most famous is Kaiju number 8. So I wrote it, I directed it, and also did the voice of Kafka Hibino, which is siya yung bida doon.
What about your compositions and
in terms of anime, not at the moment, but we do streaming and also movies. So
in terms of tunes and anong process yung pag may kandidato kayong gustong gamitin ng music ng popular? We spoke about this a while ago. Do you get in touch with the composer who originally did it? You pay for the rights, as mentioned a while ago, or kung hindi OPM, what happens?
Well, the standard there, whether it's political or not, is you go to PhilSCAP. That's the Composers Association of the Philippines. So you go to PhilSCAP. No, not composers. Sorry, PhilSCAP. Composers, authors, and publishers. So that's a group for that. And you ask for who published this certain song, and then there's a negotiation on the rights, on the price of the rights. And it's usually the ad agency or the client side who actually gets the rights and purchases the rights. And then we will just...
What are the averages? If for my alleged political campaign that Sir Pocholo put together, and I want to use a famous song...
It really depends on the artist. So there's like $10,000, maybe if it's international.
Yes.
$10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. So depende yun. If it's ABBA, you can't actually pay for it. It's ABBA, Beatles.
Why?
Yun yung mga ganun, hindi nila binibenta.
Okay, because di ba some artists, they buy the catalog. That's what they say for hundreds of millions of dollars. So if you buy a catalog for your purpose, then you go to the person that owns the catalog to be able to use it.
That's certain rights. So it's like the publishing house of, for example, I won't go to a political thing. Right now in my head, for example, many years ago, KFC purchased the rights for I Can't Smile Without You. So that's a Barry Manilow song. So they actually contacted the publisher of that song, and then we redid everything to the note.
Oh, so this is not a global campaign.
No, it wasn't.
only-
It was a
sta-
local campaign.
It was a
It was a local
interesting.
campaign. So we
Okay.
actually asked a person to record a la Barry Manilow, for
Okay.
example, and we composed the music. Talagang sobrang sapol na sapol. It's almost the no, not almost, exactly the same. So there's a mechanical and synchronization rights and all that's the legalities with that. But again, as I mentioned, about $10,000, $50,000, for example, just to purchase the rights. Tapos, you add pa the production. So you pay for production pa.
What about you, Pocholo? Does this happen to you too? Do they now pay you to use your voice and your
Yeah,
and your
actually,
music?
my voice is being used now in a lot of YouTube channels now. So every time they use my voice, I earn from it. So
What-
instead of me before, I go to recording studio, record a commercial, and wait for. We don't know when they're gonna pay me. Something
Kailangan
like-
monitor para balance yung free na gratis mo sa politicians na to na
Actually,
budget.
ngayon, ang daming gumagamit ng boses ko.
Okay.
Kasi meron akong boses sa AI na para siya nag-advertise. Narito na, ang bagong, something like that.
Really?
Yes.
Let's talk about that social media, okay? Because obviously this is going to be used in the next couple of months,
Yes.
di ba? Especially here. Do you also use your materials for social media campaigns, or there's a limit of your scope?
Social media campaigns in terms of
Like, for
any
example-
commercial, any political.
Yeah.
It is part of
It's part of the
deal.
contract,
Yes,
right?
part of the licensing as well.
Okay, okay.
So whereas before it was like TV and radio and recorrida, for example. Now it's TV, radio, digital, recorrida, social media, FB, TikTok. So kasama na siya dun sa and the cost actually merong cost implication sa dami ng kung saan i-ere.
All right. What about the future of voice acting in the Philippines? What do
In
you think?
2025, 80% of like contents will be AI generated. You'll be surprised. It's
Okay.
happening right now through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or
Which is I was going to ask you
YouTube.
anyway.
And I'm using it on my own advantage. It's my own voice. So that's a good thing because I can duplicate myself. Instead of me recording for 10 hours, I can just use my AI voice to produce hundreds of contents using my own voice.
What about? I know you've got students that are working under you to
Well,
gain experience.
again, for me, in the next 5 years of voiceover, they are the most affected job in the next 5 years.
So,
it-
as based on our conversation
but
earlier,
voice acting and dubbing will remain because that's where human touch comes in.
correct.
But when it's repetitive, it can be it's gonna lose forever.
Correct. You're right. Kahlil?
Well, in
The
terms
future
of
of
voiceover,
yeah.
Well, in terms of voiceover naman, if I chime in a little bit. There's also so there are good voiceovers in the AI and the good voices. But the tone, for example, if it's in English in the Philippines, we're not actually an American accent. We do have a Manila accent. So it's really there. So the importance and the need for actual voiceover artists will also be there. But in terms of music, in the next few years, again, I believe in the human creativity and the human intelligence, and it's the ability to adjust, the ability to revise. For example, there's a lot of revisions in advertising music. And the ability to understand your client and understand what your client wants and understand what your market needs.
Interesting. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much, Mr. Pocholo de Leon Gonzales, for being here this morning. And of course, Kahlil, you inspire me, okay? This
Thank
is amazing. Thank you so much. And we hope to have another conversation with you when, elections are heating up, right?
All right.
Okay. As the campaign season has started, digital evolution is in focus. Innovators like Pocholo Gonzales and Kahlil Refuerzo prove that creativity and technology work hand in hand. At a time when authenticity and impact matter most, the work of Pocholo and Kahlil is a reminder to all that while technology can enhance the message, it is still the human touch that truly resonates. Be timely informed, be insightful of the news, always stay at the forefront. Join us again on Monday for meaningful conversations that would help you form an objective personal opinion. On behalf of Attorney Karen Jimeno, this is Ferdi Salvador. Thank you for spending your hour with us.